Welcome to all of you. In this lecture, we are going to study one more property of the DFT, that is circular correlation, and another one, that is the inner product. So before getting into the circular correlation, let us derive this particular relation. Let us start with the statement. If DFT of x of n is equal to x of k, then DFT of x conjugate of minus n with respect to n will be equal to x conjugate of k. Let us get into the proof with the expression of the DFT. DFT of x of n is given by summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n nk for all the values of k from 0 to n minus 1. Let us call this as expression 1, and in this expression 1, in place of x of n on both sides, let us make a substitution of x conjugate of minus n with respect to n. So that is what is being represented over here. Making this substitution, we get on the left hand side DFT of x conjugate of minus n with respect to n will be equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of minus n with respect to n omega n nk we are going to have. Now keeping the left hand side as it is, on the right hand side, instead of this x conjugate of minus n with respect to n, we can also write this as x conjugate of n minus n. X conjugate of this n minus n we can write. So because it is circular in nature, and that is what this representation is also going to realize. Therefore, on the right hand side we are going to make a write up. Summation range remains the same, x conjugate of n minus n omega n nk. Now let us make a substitution to this x of x conjugate of n minus n. Within this one, let us make a substitution for n minus n so that this can be represented in a simplified manner. So we are going to have this substitution. Let n minus n is equal to m. This implies n is equal to n minus m. Keeping the left hand side as it is, on the right hand side we can observe summation starts from n is equal to 0. Now what is n is equal to? N is equal to n minus m. So that is being written over here. So n starts from 0 to n minus 1. That is nothing but n is equal to n minus 1. That's what the actual representation we are going to have. So n is equal to n minus 1. N is nothing but n minus m. So n minus m will be equal to n minus 1. X conjugate of m. In place of n minus n, m has been represented, that is from this substitution. Then the twiddle factor omega n, in place of small letter n we are going to have n minus m into k representation. Now coming to the next, the summation. Here we can observe that this n we can take to the right hand side, then m will become equal to n, and then the another part of the summation, here also n is present, here also n is present, so they will cancel each other. Minus m is equal to minus 1, therefore we can write it as m is equal to 1. Range now will become m is equal to n, capital letter N, up to 1 we are going to have, therefore the same is being represented here. After simplifying these representations, we are going to get this one, m is equal to capital letter N up to 1 x conjugate of m. Expanding this twiddle factor, we are going to get omega n nk into omega n minus mk. It is known to us that this twiddle factor value will be always equal to 1, because omega n in the power we are going to have the same capital N, then by default it is going to be 1. Therefore substituting in this location 1, we are going to get summation m is equal to n to 1 x conjugate of m omega n minus mk. This is the another twiddle factor value present. The same has been taken over here. Now let us have this left hand side as it is. On the right hand side, we can have the realization like the range that has been represented previously m is equal to n up to 1. This is nothing but total number of values is equal to n itself. Total number of values remains n equal n itself. We are not going to make any changes over here. Since this is periodic in nature, in the DFT we are going to take, it is periodic in nature. Instead of taking it as n to 1, we can simply take this as m is equal to 0 to n minus 1. Very simplified representation. Therefore, in place of n to 1, we can replace that by 0 to n minus 1. So summation range changing. Then here x conjugate and twiddle factor negative is there. By combining these two, we can write that as x of m omega n mk. See, the power of the twiddle factor has got changed. Omega n mk whole conjugate we can write. Both of these two now equivalent representations. Therefore, we can write the final representation as left hand side kept as it is, dft of x conjugate of minus n with respect to n will be equal to right hand side. We can call this as x of k. Since conjugate is also there, we must take this as x of k whole conjugate, or we can also call it as x conjugate of k. So keeping this realization in mind, we will get into the next derivation. So let us get into the property circular correlation statement. If DFT of x of n is equal to x of k and DFT of y of n is equal to y of k, then DFT of Rxy of L is equal to Rxy of k equal to x of k y conjugate of k. Remember, here two different signals are being taken, x and y. Therefore, it clearly refers to the cross correlation concept. Now getting into the proof, Rxy of L, this is the representation for the correlation. Rxy of L will be equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n y conjugate of n minus L with respect to n we are going to have. Now this realization in terms of convolution, if we make a representation, a circular convolution, we are going to have representation over here. We can realize that as Rxy of L will be equal to x of L convolved with y conjugate of minus L with respect to n. Now it is known that convolution in time domain is equal to multiplication in time domain. Therefore, by applying the DFT on both sides, we are going to get Rxy of k will be equal to x of k into y conjugate of k. This is the circular correlation representation. Now getting into one more property, that is the inner product, also known as the Parseval relation. Let us go through the statement of it first. If DFT of x of n is equal to x of k and DFT of y of n is equal to y of k, then summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of n into y of n will be equal to 1 divided by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of k into y of k. Let us get into the proof of it. So let us start with the IDFT expression. So in the IDFT expression, we are going to have x of n is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k omega n minus nk for all the values of n ranging from 0 to n minus 1. Now here compare this IDFT expression with what we have to obtain at the end of this realization. So we are having x of n on the left hand side and this is the left hand part we are going to have. We need to have three concepts within this expression. One is, for x we must have a conjugate, then we must have this y of n as well as this summation. If we integrate all of them together, automatically we will end up on the right hand side with the equivalent representation. Now let us try with that one. So x of n expression we are going to have. Now let us, at the first stage, let us apply the complex conjugate on both sides. So we are going to get x conjugate of n is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of k omega n minus nk whole conjugate we are going to have. So it is known that if the conjugate is applied to the Twiddle factor, then sign of the power of the Twiddle factor will get inverted. So negative sign is there. After applying the complex conjugate, that must become positive. Therefore, in the next expression, keeping the left hand side as it is, on the right hand side 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of k, Twiddle factor sign has got changed. Therefore, it is now omega n nk we are going to have. Okay, so the second substitution we are making, multiply both sides by y of n and summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. So we are going to get summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of n y of n will be equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. So the outside the summation has been written. Whatever there it was previously, that has retained as it is. 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of k omega n nk. So this was the term that was previously present, then multiplied with y of n. Now the left hand side retaining as it is. On the right hand side, if we just take a look into this expression, 1 by n is a scaling factor and that will be a constant representation. So we can take this 1 by n out of all the summations. Therefore, we can write it outside. So 1 by n has been written. Now we are going to make a positional variation of these summations. First, I am going to take this summation with respect to k. K is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of k I am going to write first, and then I am going to take this summation inside and write the remaining terms. So summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of k taken first. This summation is taken inside. Then summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 y of n omega n nk has been written. Now this is nothing but y of k or DFT of y of n. Simply we can call this as y of k. Therefore, replacing summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 y of n omega n nk by y of k, we get over here 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x conjugate of k. Up to this point it is retained as it is, and this complete what is there in the bracket now being written as y of k. This is what has been asked as a inner product or Parseval relation. So now there is a special case with respect to this inner product concept. That is what we are going to consider that as the corollary. So the statement of the corollary, if y of n is equal to x of n, then summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 modulus x of n square is equal to summation remains the same. The summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 modulus x of k whole square we are going to have. So we are going to, as a, in the proof, we are going to start with the Parseval relation we are going to have. So that is what we derived. This is what we derived in the previously. Now we are going to make a start with this one. In place of y of n, we need to substitute x of n. Similarly, in place of y of k, it will be replaced by x of k. So equivalent changes we are going to have. Therefore, so let x of n is equal to y of n. Therefore, we are going to get all y of n replaced by x of n and all y of k replaced by x of k. Then if we apply this modulus, then this conjugate will ruled out. Therefore, we can clearly represent that as summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n square with modulus. Then summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k square in terms of modulus. So this is a special case what we are going to have, and this is what the main relation that we are going to make use while solving any problems related to the Parseval relation. Thanks for joining.